Vladimir Putin. It's hard to deny that Russian President Vladimir Putin is an interesting man, whether you love him or hate him. The man who has spent the past 2 decades ruling Russia has seen many ups and downs throughout his life, and his past may shock you. That's why we are going to go over some interesting facts about Vladimir Putin that you probably didn't know. But first, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel, please. He was born very poor. Putin didn't grow up in a very rich house. In fact, he was born into a family torn apart by World War II. He suffered the loss of two of his brothers, one of whom died at a young age, and another died during the siege of Leningrad. His grandmother also died, and many of his family members disappeared during the war. As for his parents, they married young, and both worked as factory workers in the Soviet Union. He was a member of the Soviet intelligence. Putin joined the KGB in 1975 when he was about 23 years old, and it is believed that Putin was recruited into the intelligence service because of his fluent German, which he learned while a student at Leningrad State University. During his time in the KGB, he spied on the Western powers in East Germany, which is very important today, as Putin probably knows more about the West and its secrets than any of us do. He once scared Angela Merkel with his dog. The relationship between Putin and former Germany Angela Merkel has always been tense, and the evidence for this is their official meeting in 2017. Despite Merkel's fear of dogs, Putin decided to bring his big dog, an apparent attempt to influence her in the meeting, and he succeeded, where Merkel seemed to see a ghost in front of her throughout the meeting, while Putin was smiling the whole time. And Putin later told the German newspaper that he had no idea about Merkel's phobia. Russia under Putin's rule for 23 years. Putin was first appointed as the Prime Minister of Russia in 1999 by Boris Yeltsin, who told everyone he wanted Putin to be his successor. After Yeltsin resigned as the President of Russia later that year, Putin also became the interim President of Russia. He was later officially elected President of Russia in 2000, winning about 52% of the votes. In 2004, his first term as president ended and he was re-elected with 71% of the votes, but in 2008, Russia's constitution prevented him from becoming president for the third time. So he ran for Prime Minister instead, easily defeating his opponents, and eventually the constitution was changed. Putin was allowed to run for president again in 2012. He won with 62% of the vote and has been president of Russia ever since. Makes world leaders wait. The Russian president is known to make world leaders wait for him. In 2013, Putin was an official visit to Vatican City, and he was scheduled to meet the head of the Catholic Church and the Vatican. Once arrangements were made, Pope Francis remained waiting as 10 minutes passed and Putin did not appear. Then 30 minutes went by, calls were made, and the Pope was getting impatient, but still Putin didn't show up until 15 minutes later. And he once made US Secretary of State John Kerry wait 3 hours in Moscow for a meeting. He may have faked a bombing in Chechnya to start the war. In 1999, when Putin assumed the post of Prime Minister of Russia, he was preparing to consolidate his power and win popular support. During the period from September 4 to September 16, 1999, several explosions occurred across Russia, killing hundreds. Putin launched a full-scale people's war in Chechnya, which he eventually won. It is now widely believed that Putin may have orchestrated these bombings in order to gain support for the war, but nothing has been officially confirmed. Now that we have highlighted interesting facts about Putin, what do you think is the most interesting aspect of Putin's entire career? Share your opinion with us in the comments, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel, please.